Hey everyone, it's Shakira. Welcome back to GlowBeautyWellness here on YouTube. And in today's video, we're going to talk about 3 simple things that you can think about when it comes to Candida recovery. I know that when you first start this journey, it can seem daunting. It can seem overwhelming because as you Google, you're going to come across a lot of people that have a lot of dietary recommendations and that say do this, don't do that, and so on and so forth. So I created my program because I knew that I was not going to abide by some of these programs, and my hair is stuck in my earring. I knew that I was not going to abide by some of these programs, and so I decided to experiment. Now, I will say before I continue, everybody is different. Just because I was able to recover myself from the reoccurring bacterial infections, the reoccurring yeast infections, and so on and so forth, doesn't necessarily mean that it will be the same for the next person. However, my theory on this is if you overflow, bombard the body with healthy foods, with foods that are going to support cell development and cell regeneration, because you may or may not have heard this, but just like our skin cells replenish themselves over like 30 days or 60 days, something like that, so do our cells in our body. Duh, that's why our skin can regenerate. So you have to understand that that's why food is so important. Food is so important because food is the fuel for our cells. And so our cells are what determine if we are healthy or not. Also understand that just because you can eat a, crappy diet for a certain amount of time doesn't mean that that's always going to be what it is. Everybody, if you abuse your body, you will manifest something. For me, it was a Candida, right? So get back to the basics when it comes to your food. No processed foods while you are going through this time. Now, what does processed mean? Minimally processed or no processed foods at all. So I avoided bread. I avoided gluten. I avoided anything that had to go through I avoided things like tofu and vegan meats because those are processed meats and they also were lab made. So the body doesn't recognize that stuff. So I've got emails where women are like, well, I'm just going to go vegan. And then they tell me, their diet protocol that they created on their own. And it's full of processed stuff. It's still full of processed things. So what I did was whole foods, plant-based, minimally processed. So I did eat meat, but I followed a mostly Mediterranean style type diet. So lots and lots and lots of fruits, vegetables, olive oil, salmon. If I ate meat, it came from somewhere where I was confident in the production of that product. No dairy. Like if you these processed cheese brands don't do it. Like I do not recommend dairy at all. I rarely, just no dairy at all, at least during this time. So at any rate, things that you could pick out of the ground, things that if it's like a meat, local, I would do local and stuff like that, but I would just keep it really simple. No processed packaged stuff. Now, sweets, because sweets, big thing for me. I love sweets. I still love sweets. But even to this day, like if I were to eat a whole lot of cheesecake or just a whole lot of sweets in general, my body will react negatively. Now, the reason why I can now tolerate certain foods is because I built my immune system to a place where I can tolerate it and the reaction won't be extremely adverse. Whereas back in the day, it was ongoing reactions and my body was out of control. So you have to get back to the basics when it comes to your diet. Okay? Next, releasing negative emotions is really important. Releasing negative situations and being in a state of peace and calm is extremely important when you're trying to get better from anything. Stress and sadness and fear lowers your immune system. So that is going to make you more susceptible to more infections and and so on. So my body at a certain point became resistant to antibiotics, and that is going to be the reality for a lot of people because they're man-made. They're not, medications are band-aids, and that's something that I recognize over time because I would never get better, and nobody could ever tell me what was wrong until I started doing the digging for myself. And so that's when I realized that it's the nutrition, So I know that it's frustrating to have something going on with you and nobody can tell you the answers. You take a medication, you think you're good, and it continues to come back. You have to detox your body, and that is why the food portion is important. Basically, what this is a buildup of negative emotions, unresolved emotions. So internalizing everything, not speaking about things, not being authentic to yourself will manifest something for you because you're watching this video. It's the Candida, okay? So learning how to cope with that. I have videos on my channel about that. There are also videos on YouTube about how to constructively manage your emotions. I recommend yoga. I'm a yoga instructor. I'm also a fitness instructor. I've also firsthand experienced the healing powers of yoga as well as other fitness forms. Just getting in touch with your mind, getting your mind and body in alignment is going to benefit you. It's going to help you to release negativity, which will lower your stress hormone and response. And when it comes to responding to stress, you'll do it more constructively to where you're releasing things and you're not internalizing things. Okay? Hope that makes sense. So, third thing for this video is getting comfortable with your body. You need to explore your body. I have talked about this on my channel. I am, touch yourself, look at yourself, admire yourself. I do that an awful lot. I love myself. I love my body. And I'm very comfortable in my sexuality. I'm very comfortable with the way that I look and way that I feel. And even things that I want to change about myself doesn't mean I don't love myself any. It doesn't mean I love myself any less. Rather, so getting connected with yourself, really look at yourself, look at your face, start in your eyes. I have a confidence video on how to look into your eyes and really connect with your soul. But also look at yourself in the mirror and admire this physical vehicle that you have for this experience. Getting comfortable with your body, with sexuality, releasing such sexual frustrations, releasing sexual trauma, stuff like that is really important. And I think I'll do a video about releasing that type of stuff because just like not talking about emotions and stuff like that can get trapped in your body and you have stagnant energy. That's why it's so important to move your body, whether it be yoga, dancing, or whatever. Is not good. Okay, so that's why there are things that exist like the Yoni Steam, in which I have on my website, because you need to connect with this space, heal this space, release all of the toxic partners that you had, release the guilt from maybe if you had to terminate a pregnancy, release the guilt that you feel if you are having trouble conceiving, release all of these things because it's stagnant energy and it is impacting your growth spiritually and physically and your healing from the Candida overgrowth. So understanding that is not just about this pesky crap that keeps happening down there. This is about becoming whole on a grander, bigger level. I hope I'm making sense. That's what this is about. This is about being comfortable. This is about being comfortable in your own skin, being comfortable enough to speak your truth, being comfortable enough and honoring yourself enough to not put garbage in your body via your mouth or this way as well. So I think that's it. I think that's all. I'm sitting here at my altar right now. So before I came on, I did close my eyes and take a few breaths and ask that I be guided in this delivery of my delivery in this video, because there's no better time than now to heal yourself on the mental, in your mind, body, and in your spirit. Mind, body, and your spirit. Okay? Take care of this body, because it's the only place that we have to live. You know, this is really important, because when you are well physically, you'll be well mentally. You'll be able to navigate through this experience better and more equipped. Okay, so that's gonna be it for this video. I will leave resources down below. I will link my program. I will link my Yoni Steam. And if you have questions, you can always email me or pop it in the comments below. As always, I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.